Where are they?
They're probably upstairs.
They never answered the door. Oh, wait. It's Monday night.
They're on the second floor.
Hey guys, welcome back to the second floor. We've got our third guest this time on the second season here. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. We're going to drill him with some questions. He's got some stories. Take it away.
Well, all right, guys. We have Kevin Fowler with us today. He is my first cousin. Just like a brother. We grew up together and think a lot of him. I wanted to get him on here, give a little rundown of where he come from, where he's at today. I think he has a super awesome story. So, Kevin?
Yeah.
Let's just get started.
Well, he's mentioned his cousins several times on this podcast, so I binged, as many episodes as I could. He talks about his cousins all the time. He talked about cousins who can just build houses, just, foundation to roof line. He's talked about cousins that are in real estate and that can just play music and all that. I'm not that cousin. That's not who I am. So
Different guy.
We have the same hair color, but that's it. Yeah, I'm not that cousin. But no, I am. Was born in Blunt Memorial Hospital down the road. Grew up in Vonore my entire life. I left here. My first job was at Vic's Texaco, right down the street here, which was like a rite of passage around here in Vonore. My dad worked there, my brother worked there, I worked there. There's a whole lot there of how, having a blue collar there helped me eventually get a white collar. And I'm not saying that that's, the pinnacle or the goal that everybody needs to ascribe to, but I'm just really grateful for my roots there, working at the garage. I am a bit of a product of the public school system here. I attended from kindergarten to one day in 7th grade and swore I'm not going back. Then I started homeschool. And that was a whole journey in and of itself. At 18, I worked my last day at Vic's Texaco on a Saturday. And on Monday, I was at Maryville College, and that kind of started my whole academic career. I got my bachelor's. Eventually, we can talk about some work, but eventually I got my master's, and then years later got my doctorate. But that's just really because it was free. My work would pay for it, and so I thought, why not? But yeah, that's just been the trajectory.
I thought when he told me, I remember I was very young. I mean, I would have been probably in 4th or 5th grade when I heard he was going to be homeschooled and figured out what it consisted of. I was like, Mom, can I do this?
Yeah.
And I remember begging her.
Yeah.
To become, she's like, honey, you don't know how it works. I can do it. You get me the books and I'll do it, And I was like, Kevin's doing it. I can do it, And she's like, it doesn't work that way, And I remember that going down, and I remember telling some of my friends, I was like, dude, my cousin, he's going to be homeschooled.
Yeah, well, I mean, you already had homeschool cousins.
I did.
Cousins.
Well, I didn't know them until you introduced me. Until I didn't even know that side of the family.
I was your gateway to the other cousins.
To the builders.
Yeah.
And then we had some pretty cool times at Maryville College.
Yeah.
That was that was a side because now I didn't go to college.
People are going to hear that stuff and think that we're in frat house. I was an RA. I busted up the booze and the weed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was so, what do they call it? Straight edge when you don't, partake or anything. I was so straight. I didn't even know what pot smelled like. And they had to bring cops on campus and do a controlled burn for me. Mm-hmm. And once they lit that, like we like all the other RAs were gathered around, they're like, yeah, we all know what this smells like. It's, Kevin.
But now, once you smell it.
Well, once I smelled it, all right, I took a big whiff of that, and I said, the entire third floor smells like that. And they're like, yeah, that's the point. You need to bust them. I just thought it was just like some type of BO that all the jocks are up there. I thought it was just a weird soap or something that they were using. So I was locked in at that point.
Awesome.
You never forget that smell.
No, you don't.
do
Once you smell it, I mean,
Yeah.
you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I remember some of the going. I mean, I was what 15, 16, somewhere in there when you were in college, and because I had already kind of made my mind up then. I wasn't going to college. Now, whether I do a tech school or something,
Yeah.
I might do
Yeah.
that. But I thought, well, dang, I get to go up and stay in chill out in his dorm and figure out what college is really about, But I'm with the RA, so I mean, we ain't doing nothing, you know.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We're at,
Was you expecting something different?
No, but I didn't know what to expect. That was my thing. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, sometimes we'd be sleeping or something. You'd hear some loud noises, and he'd get up. It'd be like, what, 10 or 11 o'clock, and hear something, rustling, something down the hallway. Boom, he's up. I'm like, what's going on, And he's going out there to check, see what's happening.
Yeah, probably seeing if there's girls past 11, and you have to
that's another thing.
write them up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now we pretty much grew up as brothers.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
How
we were every weekend.
Every weekend.
We were about 85% of the time you were at my house,
Yep.
but sometimes I would go down there to Loudon. But yeah, and I mean, we really did. I was thinking about just this idea of cousins in general, and how people talk about grandbabies, right? And how it's different. So, it's the best part of, because you get to take all the good and then you push back the bad. Yeah, you send them back. That's kind of like what first cousins can be like. It's like a close brother. They're like a brother to you, and yet there is such an arm's length. There's really not that much fighting and bickering that goes on.
Well, and then if you stay from Saturday to Sunday, Sunday's the breaking point.
Yeah.
Sunday's like, we're ready to get in a fight.
One more day, you're fine. But you're out.
Isn't that what they say? 3 days with house guests, they start smelling like fish. And, you got to kick them out. That was. I mean, we
used to burn down the streets.
I was okay. I know you get asked this all the time. How many times have you broken an arm or a body part?
13 body parts.
13.
9 arms and
You only got
four legs. So bones in the legs. So when I got to double digits, I started doing legs.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So you said 9 arms. I think I was present for probably 7 of those.
I'm sure, absolutely.
But my fingerprints weren't on any of them. Until I was so proud that, because Matt used to point the finger. Like, you did that, and you broke my arm.
I don't remember. I don't really remember most of them. But.
And I was always so proud to say I've never broken one of his arms. I was always around. I was watching this stupid thing take place, but I was never responsible for an arm break until like the last arm break you had. We were playing football out in the yard, and I mean, I can't believe you went on to then play sports. Like, it just boggles my mind that, and I mean, I can't even remember what I did.
That's probably my last arm I did break.
I thought, I barely touched you. Like, I really did. And then I hear you're going out for football and stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
He won't survive that.
No way.
Yeah.
No
I do
way.
remember my first bone.
I do too.
My first bone, and there again, if it's like when there's a drug bust.
Yeah.
you're whoever's in that room when they have a drug bust.
Yeah.
You're guilty by association.
I remember
he was in the room. So he's a guilty by association.
Well, I mean, we can do names here, but it's Devin and Tanya had your arm, like they were swinging you like that. Yeah, I was standing over you.
All I can remember,
I was an arm's length.
They had a huge beanbag. I mean, a big old beanbag, and they were doing this.
Yeah,
and then they'd go up and we'd go down. Well, we went, shoo, and here we went. I do remember that, and I was like 3.
Yeah.
And I remember when I broke my first bone, I remember they had steps down at his old house. And I remember walking up those steps, and I was like, I felt like my arm was 10,000 pounds when I was 3 years old. I was like, and maybe it was because I was 3 years old trying to carry a broke arm up the step. I don't know, but it felt like I was never going to get them steps. Like I like for a long time, I remember, it was just, that was like such a hardcore memory of mine. It felt like I was literally just dragging my arm up every step as I went, you know. But that was my first bone, and probably my last bone was with him. So
yeah, it was just at least once a year. He was just and he was, since he was always at my house. That's where it was happening.
I done it on Easter one time.
Yeah,
in front of Granny's yard.
But to tell you how far we go back, the first time I had ever, you have those core memories that just pop out at you. I don't remember, I guess we can't calculate what age I was, but the first time I remember seeing a pregnant woman, he was in the womb. Like that was his mom, my aunt. And I remember,
3 or 4.
I was out on my big wheel, my big Batman big wheel, out in front of Mama's house, and I was riding bicycles with your sister. And I saw your mom walk in, and she was ready to pop. I mean, pop. And I just remember turning to Tanya and saying, "Why is your mom so fat? Why is your mom so fat?" And she said, like I was the biggest idiot in the world, "She's pregnant, Kevin. She's pregnant. She's going to have a baby." And so that's where I was like, "Oh, okay. That's And then I remember going to the hospital to see you. I remember with our cousin Michelle, I remember her swinging me by my arm. I think my sister had the other arm, and they were lifting me up and all that. And I remember looking through glass and seeing you. But I also remember, so Matt, my mom babysat Matt when he was 6 weeks old.
6 weeks till.
And so he was pretty much the first infant I remember seeing. And so going into, I remember Darlene, his mom, came and put him in a baby carrier right in the kitchen floor where, the sliding glass door was. But I remember me and the other kids, pretty much from the neighborhood. I mean, my mom babysat other kids, and we were just all leaning in. And that was really the first newborn baby I remember seeing. And you were pretty much, I mean, obviously
from there until we were
most summers
16, 17.
Yeah. And you always had I knew, you can see from kids early on just the track that they're going on. So we would go over to my uncle's, Uncle Alvin's house, and he'd be there working on a car. Matt's right there. He wanted to know what's going on here. And he would just sit and watch, and he didn't want to play. He just wanted to sit and watch. I wanted to be on Alvin's computer because that was the first computer I had ever seen. And what is this? And then that's, our careers.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
So Alvin's to thank for all this.
Yeah.
just think about
pretty
that.
much. I mean, he probably had the only computer in Vonore, Tennessee.
You're probably
there for a while.
Probably so.
Like before the library had computers.
Did he not have no, maybe it was at your house. I remember when Oregon Trail first came out. I thought, did we not go to his house to play like a computer game or something?
No, it wasn't that one. Yeah, he had some game, but I can't remember what it was.
I remember we used to
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it.
Oh, okay.
Get away from there and all that. And so, I don't know what he had.
I didn't know that about myself, but it makes sense now.
Oh, yeah, you were just all over.
All over, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to remember we used to go out and play and stuff. And I mean, I'm a big boy. I used to be a pretty good sized boy.
Yeah.
And Kevin's, just like he's built today. He's just, more in shape, fit, skinny, and we would be playing, and he would always want to play football or do something. Couldn't never catch him. Couldn't never. I'm like, I don't know what the point in playing is. I can't win.
Yeah, because I'm a jock or something.
No, you ain't a jock. It was just I couldn't catch you. Yeah. I mean, I never could catch you. I mean, you're always going to win football. Why would we keep playing? I can't beat you at this.
And change sports up.
Yeah, I know. Well, what am I going to play?
We play baseball. We didn't play basketball. Like I suck. I still suck at that.
We played a little bit back here in the backyard. I forgot about
we
that.
did. Yeah.
But I think one of for you and me, when we used to I used to really look up, and still do look up to you, as a brother, but more as I think you're a incredible financial and how you do your finances, and not how you do your finances, but
Okay.
how you manage as well as you do with the program that you use. The Ramsey program that you use.
Yeah.
And I really look up to that.
Okay.
As far as, it's always intrigued me on how the man has how many kids? Do you care to say?
Yeah.
6?
Yeah, I have 6
okay,
kids.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
6 kids. Okay. Well, 6 kids.
Yeah.
And to balance everything and do as well as you do, I mean, I honor that. That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
I
appreciate that. Well, I can't even take credit for it. Like, I'd have to say, like, Dave Ramsey has a super simple formula, and we were just super disciplined. We live simply, and it has paid dividends. And so I work well when somebody says, "Hey, here are 7 steps to improve your finances," and we needed that, and it has worked for us. Yeah, I mean, and there are some folks that could look at the situation and assume that I make a lot more money than I do, but it really is like, the Ramsey program, they did the largest study of millionaires ever, and like in the top 10 career, like number 3 is a teacher. Teachers are becoming millionaires, and that's the kind of we were doing this program when I wasn't making a lot of money at all, and still it scales upwards,
and that's what I mean by that. Like, I think that's very good to be able to be a teacher and to, where you were at, be able to do what you were doing to make things work, and to have, at the time you had 3 or 4 kids, you know, and and it's just, what is the average of raising a kid? How many thousands of dollars is it to raise a kid?
A lot of it's bullcrap.
Oh, I know it is, absolutely. I know it is.
It's too much.
But, they've said, somebody told me the other day, it was like, and I think this may be a little far-fetched, but they said somewhere in the neighborhood of like $100,000. I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't know what they mean by $100,000. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I
probably put in college. Well, no, college could potentially be more than
that'd
that.
be but I just don't know.
I heard there's a clip online of George Camel, who is one of Dave Ramsey's lieutenants out there. He's kind of the Gen Z guy, but he did push up against some of those statistics, and he said for $100,000 you could raise 4 children. He said if you're like $2,000 rent or mortgage a month, and plus you have several thousand more to play with just to feed clothing. He said, obviously we're not talking about Disney every year or anything like that. But you can make it. And the figures that he was giving really kind of lined up with where we have been. And to say, you can, 4 kids, make it work. But you just have to be super intentional. That's really what it comes down to. But no, I don't really talk about.
I know you don't.
We've never really had a conversation about Ramsey.
We haven't, but I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. You know what I mean?
I went on the show.
A couple. Times, but I mean, I see it as you being I don't, the sole provider of your home and all that sort of stuff. I see that. I mean, I am too, but I'm just saying, like, you do it well for 6.
I appreciate it, but man, it really, and I'm sure you can attest to this too. It would have been impossible without my wife.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
I mean, she is there just doing it. I just close my office door, make some money, and she's out there
handles
on the
rest
front lines.
of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I was telling somebody the other day, and you're not like me exactly. As far as I've literally bought diapers for the last 11 years straight.
I heard you talk about that.
11 years straight. I'm like, when's it going to quit? I mean, I understand.
It quits when you quit, man.
I get that.
That's how that works.
I get that. But I'm just like, because they're spaced out far enough, but with
Yeah.
Coop's treatment, it didn't
yeah.
work out, so it just kind of was like,
Yeah.
okay, boom, 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 he's still 3.5 years old having to wear a diaper, and then here comes Ruby, and then
Yeah.
here comes Robbie, and then it's like,
We were doing the cloth diapers there for a while. Did you ever experiment with that?
Lord, no.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I was glad when that phase was over because I would pay whatever money it took not to open that container. It's like a biohazard. Just
No.
Released out
No,
of
I wouldn't. I'll buy diapers for the next 11 years again before I do something like that.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't going to do nothing like that.
Oh,
Anyway.
man.
So how old are your kids?
Well, we had some birthdays, so let me think about it. They are 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 17.
Wow.
Yeah. There's two of them that are pretty close in age. We call them the twins. We have a couple adoptions in there from foster care. But yeah, that's why they're lined up right after the other. But yeah, eventually the 14-year-old, he's turning 15 in just a few days, several days, and yeah. But yeah.
Chomping at the bit to drive. You to learn from it, drive.
Yeah, chomping at the bit to buy a car. His oldest sister, that's another thing that we're really big on. Save up, buy a car. Originally, I said we'll match you. Eventually, that got out of control. It's like
These kids have got like 10 grand.
yeah. I mean, we're not saving up for a Rolls Royce here. Like we're just, no, it worked out well. So I'm thinking about capping that policy in some way.
Yeah.
It did get a little crazy.
I'll match you, Dad. All right, I'll match you.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah, that's a challenge at that point.
One of the things that we've had kids in organized sports briefly. It's really hard when you have so many kids. And I mean, those sports, practice 4 days a week, and then we, our meet or our match is on that 5th day, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I have a buddy, love him to pieces. He has 6 kids as well. Every kid is doing something. Dance.
Him and his
soccer.
wife never see each other.
I mean,
They've got to be where the kids are.
love that man so much. He raises his kids well, but I just said that's one thing we cannot do. So we've had one like doing a sport. I'd rather have him working. This guy right here has been working
11. Yeah.
since you were 11.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working since I was 14 down the road here. And I, like, you tell me what benefit organized sports will do for a kid. And I'm not saying, I love sports. I love SEC football. It has its place. But what you learn as far as interacting with customers, learning skills, working with other people, man, I can't, I just do not think that I could be where I am right now if I learned that on a field as compared to a garage.
Right.
So I'm really grateful for work, and I've been working since I was 14, and I don't even see myself retiring. Slow it down, not doing what I'm doing, but still, there's just got to be a way for me to add value learn a new skill. Even if I'm not making much, I mean, even if I'm volunteering somewhere, I just don't see myself not getting out of the bed and going somewhere.
I think some of the problem of the younger kids today is which we've said this before, is the phone has hindered them. And I've seen where you have put, like, when their friends come over, he gets their phones. You don't get to see your phone. When your friends come over, everybody's phones is lined up on a table. But people miss that so much to where that communication, if you don't have a job or you don't work somewhere, you don't know how to even talk to somebody face to face other than, hey, meet me here. So,
and I mean, when you're going down there and they're just doing that, and they're, like, what are you guys doing? So we have this table, and I mean, they just surrender their phone, and then they go downstairs and they have a blast, and there's just
that's the way it should be.
Laughter, and
that's the way it should be.
Joy.
Now, at what age do you think phones should be given to kids?
I know that's a controversial statement, but as for me in my house, it's when they get a car. That's when I got mine. And
fair, man. I agree with that.
I talked to a customer about that today. He was like, he was a principal for 35 years at a school up in Illinois. And he said he was a head football coach for like 12 years at the same school, principal and head football coach. And he said that. He said, the problem with it today, he said the kids are so consumed with their cell phones and their social media that they don't even know, like they can't even, they're so consumed by it, they don't even know how to interact, to be a kid, to be what we were truly designed to be, And I was like, and he said a kid shouldn't get a phone until they've got a set of wheels. And I was like, that's 100%. That's it.
Yeah, that's what
now, I will say now, I got mine when I was like 13, but now I was driving that scooter around.
Same difference though. You're working for 2 years. I mean,
and I mean, was it a smartphone at 13?
Well, no, it wasn't a smartphone. It was just a Nokia.
That's two totally different things.
That's true.
That's true. I give my kids smartwatches, like when they do have organized sport or get a job or something like that, and I need to know when to pick them up or something like that. So I give them a smartwatch, and we're talking about.
I get what you're. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what that phone does. An iPhone or a Android or something does to them as a kid.
Absolutely,
that's true.
Now, kids need structure. Sounds like you're giving them rules and things to go by and way things should be, and it's simple things. It don't have to be complicated or even discipline type things, but it can just be, whenever somebody comes over, if you're having a friend over, your phone goes here. You need to pay attention to your friend, and you need to hang out with them and have fun. There ain't nothing wrong with saying that, and that does probably more for them than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, you don't know. I mean, our kids have some tremendous friends. We know their parents. We know. Let's say that their phones are. I'm really big into. These phones need to have guardrails. If they have them, guardrails go up, and so you at least have those guardrails. And of course, you can just veer off of a guardrail, and that's a whole other story. But kids in the neighborhood that I don't know, they're, and I know for a fact, according to my kids, they have no guardrails on their phones. It's like, do not look at that screen. You do not know what's, because how many times have kids been exposed to, hey, look at that.
Oh yeah,
boom,
it's done.
And so just let's not even worry about it. Surrender your phone. Go downstairs, have fun. We have video games and all of that.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Well.
So raising 6 kids, I can't imagine, man. I've only got 2, and we're in sports. Baseball, and we run 2 separate directions. I couldn't imagine even thinking about having 3, much less 6, in sports. Trying to do that, so I'm with you on that. I don't know how. I mean, they want to, my kids. Which one of them's too young right now? But the other one, he wants to play football too.
Yeah.
Well, football's the worst.
How?
You're in football so many days. I mean, you literally, it's like 5 days. Like you're talking
like 4
about.
4 days of every night going to the football field.
And then,
what about
the game on Saturday?
What about baseball? You have double headers. They play all the time. Isn't football games just like, okay, it's 3 hours on this? And I know the practices and everything.
So obviously it's going to be different as you get older and you get into like high school sports and things like that. But no, so for us, I mean, we do. Your games are like hour 15, hour 20.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Now you'll practice. So like rec is not as bad because you got 2 days a week, like say Tuesday, Thursday, that you'll be practicing or playing.
Yeah.
And your practice is just that you'll practice for, a month straight or a month and a half straight, and then your games start. Well, they just take place at the practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like you're already used to. Now, travel's a little bit different story.
Travel ball?
Yeah. So my oldest one's in travel, but we don't travel that far though.
Yeah.
I mean, last year the furthest we went was Chattanooga, and that was one time, and it was like a voted on thing amongst all the parents. Like, y'all want to do that? You actually go and get a hotel and do this tournament down there, and all that. So I mean, but that's as far as we went. So we're real. The people that run it, or the guy that runs it, the coach that runs it, he's very, I don't know, I guess he considers a lot when he's deciding this stuff. So he keeps local tournaments. We only do two in a row and then take a week off, 2 in a row, take a week off. Now they're practicing. They're still practicing on that week off, but we're not traveling for tournaments on Saturday and Sunday kind of thing, So I mean, it could get bad if you're taking a trip down to South Georgia every weekend or Alabama to play in some kind of. That's crazy. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing it.
I couldn't imagine me doing travel ball with any of my kids because it don't matter who's playing, whether it be Cooper be playing, whether it be Ruby, whether it be whoever. All the other ones want to do is go eat. They want to go concession stand.
Oh, that's the way it is.
You know what I mean? And I can't afford that.
Avery
My
calls
gosh.
them session stands.
Session.
I want to go to the session stand.
Session stands.
But we pack sandwiches.
Yeah, there you go.
But now,
absolutely.
But you'll quickly find out, like Bo has, that if we're going to Powell Levi to play, we're eating a concession stand. Smoked bologna sandwiches. I mean, it's like real good food when you go there. Right. I mean, you go get funnel cakes.
Most of the places you go is just junk.
Oh yeah, it's some
stale.
popcorn.
The chips are the nachos and cheese are the chips are stale.
Let me tell you, I went to a game. It was a rec game. I tell you what, I'm not even going to say where it was.
Yeah, don't say. You may make somebody mad.
I'm not going to say where it was, but I went over to the session stands and I ordered nachos. And they gave me nachos. I swear to you, I'm not even kidding. I swear. It was literally just crumbs. I'm not kidding you. The entire thing was nothing but crumbs covered in chili and cheese. And they had no spoons or forks. Now, what am I going to do? How was I supposed to eat it? So I went and robbed a fork out of somebody's truck. They told me they had a fork or a spoon or something. Oh, it was awful. But that's it's an example of how they can be. Yeah, no. So there's some of them that's good and some of them ain't. But we pack sandwiches. I mean, that's what we do. Megan,
that's the way
if she was sitting here right now, she would say, "Psh, he's full of it. I'll pack the sandwiches."
Yeah.
You know, if it was up to him, he'd eat out every time. Yeah, that's probably true because I don't want to make sandwiches and all that. But yeah, no, she's good about that.
And then with gas being $5, you know, $4.50 a gallon, you know, you got to think about those things.
Now, you know, the eating hacks is something smaller families, larger families that you got to figure. Now, you know, we do Dollywood season passes every other year and all of that. Like we go so many times, the kids get sick of it.
My kids ain't been once. I want to go one time with your kids. I ain't took my kids. I've not. I've never been. Well, before Cooper was diagnosed, and that was the only time we ever went.
My get kids out of here! Never, oh man, yeah, they'll show them ropes.
Well, we want to do that with one year y'all go.
You gotta be able to pack some food. I mean, and they were pretty authoritarian, just as far as you can't bring. You have notices on websites and all that, but we have other friends. They have homeschool kids, six in that family as well, and. There's one of these kids, and these kids are tall. I mean, 6'4" and all, walking around the park. And there's this kid, and he just walked in, holding the biggest bag of family-sized potato chips you ever saw. And he's just like right out there in front of everybody. And I thought, nobody cares about this. Right. We're bringing in a picnic to this place. And so that's what we do. I mean, PB&J, all of that. I mean, you know, we'll probably go to Burger King right outside the park there before we go home. But that's how you have to.
So I remember when we used to go to Dollywood and stuff. We would thought about spending $6.50 on a Coke, you know, and you only get one refill on it unless you buy the mug, the mug that you get, the $30 mug for. Free fill-ups.
Back when we were kids, didn't think a thing about money. You know, I would go to the movies several times a week. It's just unheard of. But now, what I liked the most about Matt, he got to that age where he just didn't care what anybody thought about him, and you could literally tell him, "Hey, I dare you to fill in the blank."
It don't matter what it was.
I mean, I can't even think of a time where he said, "Nah, I'm not going to do that."
Oh yeah.
But like, he would go to Dollywood. You know, you just walk in front, and it's just people with a handful of barbecue or whatever, just walking around the corner. Matt would go up and just all of a sudden just bark, just do it like that, and just bark at him.
I mean, it was bad. Anything. It didn't matter what the guy asked me to do. He was about the only one because I hung out with him all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, whatever it was, I'll do it. It don't matter. I'll do it.
I'm finding out that y'all were very cruel. And I think, I think you was his tool.
Huh?
He wanted to be, but he wasn't going to be. He would put you up to it.
I was telling him. I was
like.
telling him about when we go to Walmart.
Yeah. I was going to say this.
We would take, and we didn't take big basketballs or nothing.
Yeah.
And he may have been that. I mean, he may have, but I mean.
So we weren't even driving at the time. Let's make that clear, how immature we were.
Yeah,
I mean, I was 14, probably.
I was probably 10 or 12. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, it wasn't like we was taking basketballs or soccer balls. We was taking the little $2.99 soft, bouncy balls. But we would find people. And we may not even be next to the toys. We may take the balls to the
food.
The food set. It doesn't matter. We'd take that stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd line up. We'd line up.
Yeah, I would like cough or something near a
Poof! Here comes the ball over, and then he's standing over there, and I'm gone. I'm running, or I'm finding a place.
So you'd be on the other. You'd be on the other row.
I'd be on the other row, and I would line them up, and I would cough in the general area, and I would have to.
Y'all are like these guys that stand in the rows and hold the rice in the Home Depot and just throw it up and then it lands all over everybody.
There's just a lot of. If we had the internet back then, we would be like the Jack Vales of the world with the sound machines or whatever.
Yes, that's exactly it. We would have been those people if we had video cameras that could slide in our pocket and had the internet back then to where we would have been YouTube
if
or
we would
have
been
been
cameras, we'd probably be in jail. Because there would be eyewitnesses.
I would definitely have been trespassed out of Walmart.
Oh yeah, we would have. We would have. Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. I don't like Walmart.
We did some wild stuff. How we I mean nothing bad that hurt anybody. But some stuff that I would absolutely beat my kids if they done it today. I would.
Yes.
But now one time we got caught in a life-threatening situation, shall we say.
You'll have to remind me of this.
The hike.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
The hike. I thought we'd done something. Something I had done.
No, where I thought, okay, we're in trouble.
I thought this is it.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
So it's the the Hangover hike, and I think the trailhead's in North Carolina. I think it might come into dipping. I don't think it dips in Monroe County at all. But yeah, it's a 6-mile hike, and it's pretty extreme. I went to the All Hikes website or whatever it's called, alltrails.com or whatever.
Yeah, a 6-mile.
And they said this is an intense hike. This is for expert hikers or whatever. But anyway. So we go with our cousins, the cousins, and we started way too late. I mean, you need to go there at the break of day.
Yeah, like 5 o'clock.
Because
you need to be there.
It is incredibly strenuous. But Matt, before he started playing football, he was on the pudgy side.
Oh, I was 250.
250? No way.
I weighed about 245 to 250 pounds when I was playing football.
Okay. Well, you were every bit of that.
I was a chunk. I was a chunk.
Yeah.
I was a chunk. And this was I would have been 15.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, I was driving. I remember I had an MP3 player, so I'm trying to date. That's what kind of. Yeah, it wasn't an iPod.
It wasn't the Walk. I remember the Walkman plugged into the cassette.
It wasn't in 2006 then. It was probably 2003 or something.
Yeah, we're getting in there. We're getting in there. But anyway, we're on this hike, and there are 2 paths.
Okay, whoa. Let's start back though. So before we left his house, I remember it very, very,
vividly.
Yes, that his mom made sure before I left, you make sure you wear, because it was going to be cold.
Yeah.
So coveralls, and she done put in my head that if these, you got to have these coveralls. I mean, big old blue coveralls that you'd wear hiking. Well, I put them on, and I didn't take the things off. So we'll continue with the story.
Well, and by the way, my mom knew to do this because years ago, my church went on this hike, and a whole bunch of people. They thought it was just going to. Okay, it's almost like the men's ministry, but our church did so few things that everybody just showed up. Old ladies. I mean, in their maybe late 60s at that time, but definitely knocking on 70. And it was so cold up there. we were getting into, that was our Mount Everest.
Yeah,
like
that's what I was fixing to say.
It was survival mode getting up there. But anyway, that was something we never forgot. And so here we are. And my mom went on that hike, like to killed her knees. And so yeah, she's prepping us. This isn't just a walk in the woods.
Yeah.
This is serious. Anyway, we come up to this split, and it's like in the Lord of the Rings. You know, which way do we go? Somehow I got signal.
Yeah, I remember
and I mean,
that.
we're talking. This isn't smartphones. This
It was
is little
Nokia or something. It was something.
And I called the guy who took us up there last time and said, okay, left or right? And he said, well, which way did you come? Which trailhead did you do? And I didn't know. I said, I think it was the first one you mentioned. He said, okay, go right. And so we went right. It was the wrong direction. So we walked.
Oh, we walked. It was 8 miles. It was
a couple miles past, and we saw the sun.
The hangover.
Yeah, and we were like, it's starting to now get dark.
We walked a long time though.
It's starting to now get dark, and so we need to head out. Now, I was bringing up the rear, and poor Matt, he was having
I was in bad
an
shape.
existential crisis.
I was in bad shape.
It comes out to-
you don't realize, like, when I tell you I was on the break of, like, it was probably
He was hallucinating.
I mean, it was that bad. Like, I had every bit of sweat had left my body.
Yeah.
I was literally eating snow. Probably the first mile in, I was already done. I was over there scooping snow and just eating it as I was going.
You should have took your coveralls off.
That's what everybody told me.
Well,
But my aunt down there told me to not. I just didn't know. She told me you need to keep these on. Well, then I was worried about. I said I'm gonna get hypothermia, and all this, So I didn't take the coveralls off.
the big moment was I'm bringing up the rear. I remember I was listening to Switchfoot's "I Dare You to Move." Like I remember the song, and Matt and he was just dragging, and he just kind of stumbled. And I took off my headphones and said, Matt, it's getting dark. We have got to go. I don't care. We have got to get off this mountain. He said, Kevin, you're going to have to get somebody to come up here and get me. I said, who is going to come up here and get you? He said, I don't know, helicopters or
Helicopter,
something.
horse.
I said,
yeah.
I said, there's no helicopters that are going to land on this. Where would they land, Matt? He said, well, get them horses. And I said, Matt, it's going to be dark. Like, we're now going to be one of these stories about kids that are stuck in the woods and everything like that, lost in the Smokies. And I said, you have got to stand up and you have got to get going right now.
And I said, I looked at him, I said, Kevin, I promise to Jesus, I can't make it.
Yeah, I promise to Jesus, I cannot do this. And I just said, you have no other choice, Matt. But yeah, that earnest, I promise to Jesus is the.
That was going to be it.
Forget that moment.
That's when I thought when I
said that, I would.
When I said that, I thought maybe now they'll come bring me a horse or a 4-wheeler or something up here.
There was a time we like found a cave that we had to just rest.
We walked just a little bit further, and there was just cave. It was just like perfect.
And you
pitch
could tell
out.
A bear had been in there.
Something had been in there.
Matt, I heard him snore a little bit, so he went to sleep for a second.
But we're talking like, it felt like I had slept for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it was still like this. When I went to sleep, it was like this dusky.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, it was still the same thing. But I was like,
and we had.
I felt like I'd slept for days. And when I immediately went to sleep, and I was out, and I woke
you
up.
do that anyway.
I used to. I don't know more. But I mean, I was just out, and then I woke back up, and I almost felt like a new person.
Was you just that tired?
I guess
it was mental, physical.
It was just everything. I don't know, but I remember me getting kind of tucked up in that cave. It just started raining, snowing.
Yeah,
it was spitting and
yeah.
And it was just like, it was crazy. It was one of those moments like, this is it. This is how I'm dying.
Yeah.
And when I was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah. I thought we were going to have to carry him down. Well, I mean, there for a while, you did have the arm over me, and I was. You had 100 pounds on me, so it's not like I could do a whole lot with that. But
I thought I was done for there.
Yeah,
I've been stuck in the woods overnight. I got stuck. I think I told that story on here back at the beginning of the first season, but we were riding horses one time in East Fork over Jamestown, Tennessee, towards Cumberland Mountains.
Yeah.
And we got stuck out in the woods at night with the horses. got dark on us, like full canopy in the summertime. You know? And it just when it started getting a little bit dark, it just all of a sudden went lights out.
Yeah,
couldn't see nothing, and we laid on the ground till the next morning.
Oh my goodness!
Till we could see.
I remember getting scooched up in that cave, and man, when I went out, it was the best. I can remember how good that sleep was. When I woke up, I was like, man,
it wasn't more than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because we were fine, and by gosh, when we got to the car, it was pitch black. Like my little MP3 player, I was holding it, like we had a little flashlight.
That's some sort of little cheesy light. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I remember when I got back to his house, I laid on that couch. I lay there, and it still felt like I was walking in the woods.
Yeah, I've had that, but back when I was mowing grass all day long, every day, when we had all 7 sets of townhouses in Tuggle Village for Patrick. God. I swear, man, I would mow. I would get up and be at his house before dark, be at the first yard at daylight, and mow when the last that bit of daylight was there. I was still mowing, and then drove home in the dark. And I'd lay down, and go to bed, and dream about mowing all night long, and
Just
wake
that
up and have
roar.
to do it again. I guess
I forgot. I weed eated some too. That was another one of my first jobs. But yeah, hearing the roar of that weed eater for 6-7 hours.
You feel like it's just like riding a bobcat for a long time. You know, you don't think like. For us, we're on our feet and doing stuff and always have been. And it's like, you see people on equipment and it's like, I'd be better than this, you know, is what you always think.
Then
I ran a bobcat for 8 hours down there at the proper, man. You get off that thing, you were beat to death.
Oh, it'll beat you to death.
You know, and I can feel the sensation in my hands, just
cramp.
Everything. Just like the vibrations, I can just feel them in my arms.
Yeah.
Still. So, yeah, it changes things. So, 6 kids, married, Maryville College.
Yeah.
All the way up to there.
Oh.
You've been with Matt, basically. I mean, on and off.
Yeah.
But yeah, up until then. So then, when did you get married? How old were you?
I was 20. Pretty sure. Maybe I was 21. Yeah, I got married. She's a couple years older than me. So she already had her degree. And so I got married my senior year, going into my senior year of college.
Okay.
Yeah. And... yeah, I guess I'm a little bit of an old soul. I mean, even from I'm a big fan, like the Andy Griffith Show, All in the Family. I was just always a little more precocious, a little more ahead of where my peers were as far as maturity in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I was one of the first in my whole year to get married, one of the first to have kids. Yeah, I've just always been on top of it.
So you just said something. I want to say something about this. I swear, with everything I got in me, I think that this world, all the corruption in this world, could be resolved if everyone would sit down as a family every night and just watch one episode of Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
I think everything would be better.
Yeah.
I really do.
Probably
I
so,
truly think that.
Yeah.
And I love Andy Griffith, man.
Yeah, and I love the songs that point us back to Mayberry. You know, I remember Rascal Flatts had a song called Mayberry.
Yeah.
And it just simpler times.
And if you even think about it, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Just think about the Andy Griffith.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple of episodes that are just my go-tos that I always pop on. What's your 2 favorite Andys?
Well, I don't know about favorites. I wouldn't call them favorites necessarily, but there's 2 that automatically come to my mind when I think Andy Griffith. One is whenever Barney's driving that car back, Mrs. Lash sold him, you know, and the steering wheel's coming out at him. So I always think about that one. And then I always think about the one where Ernest T. Bass takes Darlene when she's going to get married and runs off with her. And anyway. I think about those 2 episodes
those
anytime
are good
I
ones.
think about it.
Those are good ones. I forgot about Barney's first car. That was a good one. My 2 are the pickle story. You know, Aunt Bee's pickles, and they were just so bad.
Is that with the contest?
Yeah.
Okay,
She entered them to a contest and all of that.
That's a really good one.
And the second one was Barney and the choir.
The guy got the choir. I was the one I was going to pick was the choir.
Yeah.
A little bit lower. A little bit lower, Barney. A little bit lower, Barney.
Is that's in the choir, or is that at? Okay, now there's one where he wants to be in is it a talent show maybe, and then some big old guy's got the big.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Is that the
that's
same
it.
one?
Yeah, it's Barney and the
Okay,
choir.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
so that's the same.
Yeah, those are my two go-tos. Yeah, I love Andy Griffith.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and just going back to you there for a second, when you told me, and this is when I would have been, what, 18 maybe, 17, 18, that you told me that you were going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I knew, like, now looking back at it now, that I thought, man, there ain't no way I'd ever be a teacher. Because back then, and I don't know what a teacher makes or does anything now, but the things, I don't care if you pay them $150,000 a year. It ain't enough money to mess with little turds like me and this guy. I mean, honestly, it's not. It's not enough money. And when but looking back at it, even as the time that you did do it, there is no way I would have. Unfortunately, would have some kid strangled in the corner somewhere. That's just me. I just can't.
Oh man.
I don't know how you did it.
Patience.
Yeah, it's patience. I know that,
Wow.
but I don't know. I just never have had it.
Well,
What's the craziest thing that happened? Where'd you? Well, you probably might not want to say where you taught at.
That's fine. But
Was it what grade? Or
yeah.
grades?
So it was high school.
High school. That's
Yeah.
probably the worst it could possibly be in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. So I did secondary in high school. I did teach junior high as well, and I was a social studies teacher. I was probably the only social studies teacher in history that was male and didn't coach anything.
Yeah.
So that was one of my claims to fame. But I taught U.S. history and government, and I loved teaching government. And yeah, you have your kids where it's a challenge, but I think one of the craziest stories I taught at a high school that just churned out NFL players eventually. I mean, they win state championships, and I get any local folk will know which school I'm talking about. But there I am, and I caught one of the guys plagiarizing, cheating. Pulled him out in the hall. And if you can imagine me at that time, like I'm about 170 pounds now. I was about 140 back then, looking up at this giant with my finger in my face, catching him and threatening that he will not graduate because I caught him cheating. And I just thought, we're out in the hall by ourselves. This man could snap my neck. Like, he has every ability to be able to do that. And so that's one of the more bizarre moments. And at that time, I was even student teaching. So I was 20, and so he's 18. I'm just a couple years older than him. And that's some of the more crazier experiences where I'm dealing with adults at that point, legal adults. But they're just trying to get their ticket stamped out of here. He did make his way to play for some SEC teams and all of that. So he was massive mountain
good.
of a man.
That's pretty good. I didn't know that.
So how long did you teach for?
So I've been in education my whole career, but education just isn't teaching in a public school classroom. I've been teaching something, and so I'm in the private sector now. But I count my student teaching year as my first year, even though I was an intern. But I had great mentor teachers, and they're like, "You can have the class, go for it." And I taught. I was grading paper. They went to their office and sipped their coffee, and I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. They just had trust in me, and they say, "Hey, you come to me for guidance when you need it."
You need some help, yeah.
But you got it. And they threw me at the deep end of the pool. So that was my first year teaching. I taught 2 years of junior high. After that, it was during the Great Recession. So I was just so grateful to have a job. I did not want to teach 8th grade, but that's what God had in store for me. So I taught 8th grade to the fullest of my ability. Great kids. It was up in West Knoxville. So it wasn't even though it was West Knoxville and a lot of people think money, in the same class, I had a kid who whose father, now this is some talk, no, it's actually confirmed because one of my coworkers who is also a teacher, she nannied the girl, and she said, yeah, we went on their private jet to their island in the Bahamas. So that girl is in my class next to a kid who is homeless, like whose mom lost her house and now he's in a hotel room. And so
Crazy.
they're literally sitting catty corner to each other. And so it's such a different world how this girl, she goes to school just to be normal. Like she watches High School Musical and she's like, I want that. I don't want this private school. I want to go to public school.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty well-off public school too, I might add. And then you had this kid who, I don't even know if he ate breakfast. And I'm teaching him the Constitution next to her, you know? So it was just a bizarre world, but there were some great kids that came out of there. One kid came, I really kind of took under my wing because he was homeschooled his whole life. And I want to go to public school one year. And there's a girl.
What a culture shock.
Yeah, it was. I love hearing him talk about it. I still know him. He was over at my house several months ago. He's now a missionary over in England. But there's a girl in my class, and they knew each other a little bit from youth group. But he walked her to lunch every day and did all of that. That was the beginning of their relationship. And now they have got married, 2 kids. They're over. And so it is really neat to think that I had a little something to do with that. So,
cool.
And it's good to look back. That's what keeps the fuel to the fire. But I tell you what made me, just the day that I'm like, well, no, I'll just sum it up like this. The reason why I had to get out of teaching was the parents.
Yeah, I can see it.
Whenever I was in public school, if I got in trouble, I knew it was going to be magnified at home. You know, like if I get written up, my mom and dad are really going to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're going to lap me up. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of my friends, one of my classmates, he got paddled. I loved that episode when you all were talking about that. I showed it to my kids. That's just culture shock for them. No, it's culture shock for my wife too. She said, I mean, she grew up in Texas, and she's like, yeah, we didn't have that back then. She's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
It's like, you never had a kid paddled. Nope. Never saw.
Wow.
But I remember my buddy Matt coming into the bathroom after he got paddled. Now I was the class pet, all of that. I bobbed it. I remember one time, I only got my name on the board 2 times. One was a substitute teacher, and there was a gasp that went in the room when they wrote my name on the board. But my first day of kindergarten, I got my name on the board. And I remember the teacher had to move the American flag to write the name on the board and put it back. And I thought, the Founding Fathers are so upset with me right now. Oh, no.
You're thinking that in kindergarten?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's light years beyond
No,
me. I'm going to tell you.
it was more about the men that died for that flag, and now my name is written
behind it.
Yeah, I'm going to be a convict. But anyway, but no, the parent, like I knew, again, my buddy Matt just got a paddling, walked into the bathroom, and he just said, my dad's going to kill me.
Yeah.
And I went to church with his dad, great father, but yeah, your dad's going to kill you. That's it. That's
so bizarre that even your wife, at the age that she is, she's
Yeah.
never seen anybody or heard of anybody getting paddled.
Never.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, we had
just on there.
names. We had
Oh, yeah.
designs on the page. I mean,
Yeah.
some of them had holes drilled in them,
Yeah.
swinging a little faster.
Oh, like
So what?
Yeah.
So what was you going to say though? You said the parents, and then used to you would.
yeah.
It would be magnified.
I was arguing more with the parents on what their kids clearly did than like their parents were coming in
They should have
as
been-
their lawyers.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They weren't my partners
Yeah.
in all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And
They should be
you
disciplined,
were
but
saying
you're
your
getting the
kid did
discipline.
this wrong. There's no way they done that wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kid
Oh,
would
yeah.
my kid would never do that. One time we even caught a kid on camera. and like roll the footage. Then we didn't tell her, and we're like, okay, roll the footage. And then she still looked us right in the eye, and said, "My kid would never do that." And you're like, I'm not dealing now with logic and reason. I can't do this stuff anymore. But to know that I loved the content. In fact, I am going to be teaching a government class for homeschool students soon, where in like a co-op situation where, I'm certified to teach it, or I guess my certification technically lapsed, but it can still be for credit. But I love teaching U.S. government and the Constitution, so I'm going to be doing that for my kids, and then I'm going to get some other kids around and give them some high school credit for it. I love the content. I loved a lot of the kids, and they loved me too. It's just some of those kids getting in trouble. Here come the parents, and I could not deal with that anymore.
I'm sure. Yeah,
just couldn't deal with it.
I believe it. So a total of, in the public school,
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, and then
which I thought was crazy because he was homeschooled his whole life, and then he goes, or not his whole life, into 7th grade, but anyways, went from 7th all the way.
I had never been in a middle school before.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know what size the kids were going to be. I was trying to remember, okay, I'm going to be teaching 8th grade. What ages are we talking about here? How big are they? Like, and so, but boy, 8 a.m., okay, that's the size, and off we go. Yeah, you have about 130 students,
That guy that come in today was my customer that I was talking about. He said that school that he taught, or that he was the principal for 35 years at. He told me I didn't even know you could get this large, and I'm there again. We come from a whole lot smaller area, but he said it was a graduating class of 4,700 kids.
That's crazy.
In Illinois, and he said when it's in Illinois, they pack kids everywhere. He said they pack them like, just many as we can get in there. It don't matter that it's running over. We've got teachers that are teaching 43 kids in one classroom.
My goodness, it's technically illegal, or against
some. They
make it. They always.
Yeah. So, anyways, he said, and I went. He said I left and went to. He said it was still in Illinois, but it was like Southern Illinois or something, and he said it was like a rural, like just a graduating class of like, what did he say? Like, I think he said like 110 kids, graduating class. He said, but the school itself the high school only had like, what did he say? I want to say like 400 or 500 students in the whole school. And he said, man, the difference. He said, I never realized I'd done this my whole life.
Yeah.
He said, and John over here and don't know what Billy is going through. He said when his mom just died.
Yeah.
He said, but seeing this other school, I've done this for 30 years, so he said I was so just blind to it.
Yeah.
I never even looked at it like this. He said I was so blind to it to where he said I just assumed that these two, Billy didn't know what was going on with over here with this guy. They just make fun, poke, pick, do all kinds of stuff, not knowing what's going on. But he said when we got to this smaller school, he said, man, it was just like everybody knew each other. They knew their mom. They knew that, Billy's mom passed away, and everybody's, he said it was so different. He said the atmosphere, and he said going to a town where it was more rural and farm, and he said, and all the kids, he said, instead of being piled in on social media and their phones, he said all the kids was up before the teacher was up doing farm work, doing this, doing that. He said they learned respect. He said some of them drove to school and they didn't have a phone. He said, which blew my mind when I got there. Yeah. He said not to have. He said 25-30% of the kids didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's pretty
breath of fresh air for him.
Yeah, well, it was for him. He said, man, I wish that I could have done that for 30 years at that school.
Yeah.
He said, where I done one for a graduating class of 4,700. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My goodness gracious.
That's a lot.
That's the size of some Tennessee towns.
Yeah. It's just, I couldn't believe it.
So you got out of teaching and then did what?
Is IT at a community college here in East Tennessee. Yeah, and that was kind of my foot in the door. I was only there for 3 years, but I went up the management. That was the first time that I managed a team, and great people with great hearts, but I didn't like that. One of the reasons, I really respect my boss at the time. He was the CIO, the Chief Information Officer, the Chief IT guy. And once I got my big promotion, I was in the college president's boardroom, and one of his devices stopped working. And so I got in the floor and I started, fixing it, because that's just what I do. Like different man, if my old boss watches this, I just want to let him know I respect him and all that, but just different, perspectives. But he was like, hey, you're now a director. You do not get in the floor and unplug wires. You get a member of your team down here right now and fix this. And that's right there where I knew, it was like, that's not me. Like, I don't want to tell somebody to do something that I could do, or I would do.
Right now, you have it done before they even get here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that right there is when I knew that management just really wasn't for me. Yeah. And so, I did that. And then, I was kind of recruited from the tech company that I work for now. I've been there for 12 years, I think. And it's terrific. It is based in Silicon Valley. I have kept a spreadsheet of every flight I have ever been on, because I only got on my first airplane when I was like a sophomore in college. And so I have tracked every flight that I've been on. I think I'm up to, I was just looking at it, it's like 350 airplane rides. I've gone out to the Valley 36 times. We're starting to go to Austin a lot more. It's just cheaper than California. And so I've done a lot of travel, but I've been working from home before it was cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, way before COVID, I was working at home in this position, and a lot of people can't do that. Mm-hmm. And I can understand that, but it really comes down to the boss gives us deadlines. If we meet those deadlines, they really don't care what you do, what you're doing with your time. Because you're making your marks and adding value. But so I have a home office.
How many flights do you think you've had?
I mean, I could pull it up, but I mean, it was something like
350.
Three. Yeah, it's over. But flying out of McGee Tyson, I pretty much have to connect.
Yeah, you're going to Ohio, or you're going down to
every trip,
Dallas.
Every trip, I've been
Charlotte.
over on 100 trips. Mm-hmm. And so
so you're
upwards to 300.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah, and that has dropped since COVID. Actually, I used to be going out to California about 12 times a year.
You fly from Charlotte all the way to the other coast? Is that how you do that? Yeah.
A lot of it. I try to stay out of Charlotte. I call it the Protestant Purgatory. That is the worst airport that I've ever seen in my life. I do fly out of DFW a lot. They have that Sky Train. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, you will see a sign that's, you're in Terminal A. E is where all of the regional jets fly out of. And I have pictures of the sign say 40-minute walk. Yeah. And you're
walking for 40 minutes.
And if you've got a close connection and everything, there are a few of those moving sidewalks. That's your only hope. That's all you got, and that very few and far in between. Yeah.
I call those the little. That's the little Mario Super Blast.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Super Blast. You roll all over on them.
Yeah.
You're going.
All right. Plus, it's a whole lot better too going out of Dallas, because your flights, you're 2 hours there and then 2 more hours there. It breaks
Stop
it up.
and get some barbecue.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I like it. So right there it is. Number of trips 101, and then 364 aircraft.
Almost 370. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking a personal trip on Friday for a wedding in Nebraska. So that will get me over the That will get me to 370.
I went one plane trip.
Almost.
Went one plane trip and went to first one.
That's crazy too.
That's
This is insane.
And went straight to Israel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not my first, but I had to connect. Yeah, I left McGee Tyson. Yeah. Went to Newark, New Jersey. Met some of the hatefulest people I've ever met in my life. I hadn't hardly been out of Tennessee, and I got to Newark, New Jersey, and I thought, gosh, these guys are a bunch of jerks.
Was it TSA?
Hateful? No, just people.
No, because you're connected.
Just walking and people, and just just hateful and nasty people. And I thought, and here I am. I mean, and I'm in a big old straw hat, you know, and I look totally out of place and in some old shorts and but anyways, and went to from Newark all the way across the big water to Israel, and that was a 13 hour flight.
Yeah.
And the first time I'd ever flown.
Yeah,
So,
that's insane, man.
that was,
I could not imagine. My first flight was from Knoxville to Charlotte and from Charlotte to San Diego. That was my
I love
first flight.
San Diego.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
save that because we'll get onto that. That's going to be.
Oh,
one of our-
yeah, we'll get.
We're gonna
we'll
do
get
an
that.
airline episode.
Man, that's pretty crazy at there. Customs wore me out. I didn't know what customs was. I didn't know what customs.
Now that's a whole nother world.
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
different
yeah,
than just
yeah.
flying
When
around.
you go
the United
international and
States.
you go customs, man, you better
Yeah.
know what your mama's middle name is.
Oh,
you better
well-
know what your daddy's date of birth is.
Well, you have the IDF in Israel that you're not dealing with TSA.
Yeah,
like
no,
they are trying to
no.
root out actual terrorists
yeah,
and stuff
absolutely.
like that. You're not going to get that at the UK.
yeah, they absolutely wore me out. I got there, and even the people we were with, they're like, "You might need to ditch that hat. You look very suspicious," And I'm just like, "What are you talking about? I'm coming over here to see the Holy Land.
Yeah.
And you worry about me, and they're like, "Just do what I say."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
did I ever tell you when we walked through? We got to, was it Newark?
Okay.
Maybe Newark, or we got somewhere. And I know it wasn't. It could have been. It could have been when we got into Israel. We got back behind security. Somewhere we got off the plane. We were behind security. We done made it through,
Okay.
and Poppy had a knife in his pocket.
Get out of
He
here.
had a knife in his pocket.
the whole time.
He had to throw it in the trash. Yeah, he had it in his,
I
somehow.
bet he did.
So yeah, because he was like, "What am I going to do? Probably throw that thing away
Yeah.
right now."
Yeah.
So he
You
went
know?
all the way through TSA here.
Yeah, well, somewhere. I don't know if we were in Newark or if we were somewhere, but he got behind
Boy,
security.
we're talking 9/11 wasn't too far in the rearview mirror, was it?
Well, no, it was 11. It was 10
2011?
years.
Okay.
10 years. But yeah,
Yeah.
but still, I mean,
Yeah.
say, however you got back here behind, throw that
I don't know how he
thing
made
away.
it through TSA.
I was like,
that's-
golly, bum, we'll never make it out of here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, anyways,
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
customs was wild. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. Eventually, you get it's just like a science. There's oh gosh, it's that George Clooney movie about that guy who always flies. I can't even remember, Up in the Air or one of those chick flicks. But he just talks about how this is the type of TSA lane that you get into. You oh no, parents, you need to get into this one over here. You need to find this is how you get the right seat. And everything that he was talking about is how you think once you get there.
When you do that much.
Yeah, when you do it that much, whenever you see people fiddle with their bags and everything, you know who travels for a living. You just how they put their bag up, and it is just such a defined. Like I know which seat I'm going to get. I know how to gauge it where you have a good chance of getting the middle seat empty next to you. It's not a perfect science, but it happens a lot. It's pretty much just standby or airline standby people get. Anyway, yeah, it's the little things when you're up there. Like whenever you get that middle seat empty next to you, it's
a game changer, I'm sure.
it's the poor man's first class. I think Bill Burr said that. Poor man's first class is getting the middle seat empty.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It
You ever
changes
flew
your-
first class?
Yeah, and the last in that American Airlines is who I've flown for the most, and the way that they have their point system now, I'll probably never get to do it again. But that's when I was flying multiple weeks out of the year. The last time I was in first class, the guy sitting in front of me was the guy on the Sandlot that said, "You're killing me, Smalls."
Yeah.
The curly red hair guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to chat with him. He was going to throw out the first pitch at the Smokies game or whatever.
That's
And
pretty
so
cool.
that was the last time I flew first class, and it's
So you got that off a point system for having flight hours? Yeah.
That's the only.
I got a first class
way.
seat like that one time, but not with my points. I got it with somebody else's points that we
Nice.
knew when we got on the plane. He was sitting in
Nice.
first class, and he lived in Charlotte. We flew out of Charlotte. Or no. We flew to Dallas. He flew from Charlotte to Dallas, but we were connecting back to Charlotte to come home.
Whew.
So
Yeah.
when we came out of Baton Rouge, and
Nice.
So we caught him in Dallas. So we had like a 30-minute flight to Baton Rouge from Dallas
Yeah.
or something. It was short. And he gave Brody that front seat and sat with me in back there with his seat and rode. He's like, you can have first class to lay back. I was like, fine with me. I'm going all the way to Charlotte in first class.
Sweet.
You know, so I did that. But I remember thinking on my first flight when I flew all the way to San Diego, it was miserable. I was in the middle seat on a probably an Airbus, some kind of Airbus.
Yeah,
But I was in the middle seat, flew all the way, landed, got off. It was during COVID or right after
boy.
COVID, so you had to wear
boy.
a mask the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, I remember my back of my ears hurting so bad from that for like the next 2 or 3 days. It was so bad. So on the way back, I was really dreading it. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, this is going to be awful. Flew all the way to Dallas with the middle seat open.
Yeah.
And then got on just a 4-seater plane, 2 on each side,
Yeah.
from Dallas back to Knoxville. And I didn't have another passenger beside me. So I flew
man.
all the way back from San Diego on 2 different flights with no guests.
Isn't it like we're literally, it's the best day of our lives when a guy's not like that close
Touching,
to you.
yeah.
Just how cramped we are, but having that seat open, it completely
breath
changes.
of fresh air.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's real nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think have we touched on everything that is Kevin?
Pretty, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. No. One last thing.
Yeah.
Preaching.
Okay.
We ain't heard that yet. When did you
All right.
decide? How did you decide you were going to do that? What did you, where, and what age was that? And how long you been doing that?
Okay. I'll make it brief since, we could probably do a whole episode on this, but I grew up in missionary Baptist churches, the one down here at Mount Zion here in Von Orr. Love those people. Love them to death. I came up right about 18, 19 or so. I just knew that doctrinally, little different. I don't necessarily subscribe to X, Y, and Z. And so that took a few years to really kind of work that out, where finding a church that doctrinally matches what I believe. But anyway, very long story short, in our denomination, which is, it differs between church to church really, but I'll just say the way that we see it, we have churches that have elders in there, and those elders, what we see in Scripture is elder and pastor are all shepherd, and they're interchangeably used in the Bible. So if you're called to be an elder at our church, you are a pastor. Now, sometimes we do say, we'll call those that are full-time, we will call them pastor. And those that are lay pastors, we will call elders. And so that's a little technicality there. But elders, as called in the Bible, are called to teach and to shepherd the flock. And so joined a church in Maryville. And I'd been there for several years. And eventually you're nominated to be an elder. And so then you have to go through this kind of apprenticeship. And eventually, I would teach and preach mainly in assisted living homes. So I actually bumped into some of your principal when
Spoon.
and got to know her really well. And so pastoring there and teaching there. But eventually, I've got a couple of dates on the calendar coming up that I'm working on. I'll be preaching from the pulpit at the church. So I say all of that to say, by preacher, it is a little, I prefer, by preacher around here and where I grew up, I see, the guy up at the pulpit, what my dad calls hut-hutting and all that. That's not what I do.
Right.
And so I shepherd a flock. I pastor a flock. Most of my work is actually done counseling people, but I do in the assisted living ministry at least once a month. I preach there, and yeah, I do preach from the pulpit. But yeah, love our flock. We grew so big. We are not in the model of, okay, well, we need to build a bigger church. We're in the model of we need to plant another church somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So we planted, I think we're going on 3 years now. We're already at 2 services, and already those 2 services are getting pretty big. And so I think at a typical Sunday, we're getting up to 300 or so. And so now we're already talking about, okay, what would it look like to plant another church? Because we're not going to go to 3 services. Mm-hmm. We don't want to be a big church. Yep. We want to plant.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so
I like that.
that's
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like a massive church with your little groups that they have within the. I don't like that either.
Yeah, different strokes, but we see smaller churches in the New Testament, and we're trying to go by the New Testament as much as we can, and that's why we use terms like elders. You'll see that term thrown around there, and smaller churches. Paul wrote to Titus. He said, "Plant churches where you're at, as I have directed you. Raise up elders." And so that's what we do.
What you call? Yep.
What was you gonna say?
Nothing. I was just over here grinning about, because we were always together going to church, or on the weekends I'd go to his church. Most of the time I always go to his church, and I always remember we had the best grandmother. We'd take her to church, and it would be a fight from the moment we pick her up to the moment we get to church. We'd be picking, pinching, pulling. Yeah. She'd be flicking boogers at us.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, she would pretend to do that.
She would pretend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She would, or she'd act like she'd pick her nose. I mean, just always. Kevin would be grabbing, pulling on her seatbelt. Just anything. All the way to church.
We would mess with her, but she would give it back.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
She would fight back.
She'd pinch the fire out of you, too.
Yeah.
My mama did,
man.
Too. Yeah.
Love that little
great
lady.
memo.
Yeah,
great memo.
All right, is that it?
I think so. That's pretty good. I believe that's a wrap.
Kevin, thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys.
That was
Appreciate
awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Mondays, we're going to try probably to have some guests on next Monday, and maybe the next 2. So probably a good another full month, really.
Month's worth of guests.
Guests every Monday. So tune in and check that out, and thanks for listening this time.
See you guys.